future Mara and Josh for meeting with me and to go over these questions I have. So with regard to our schedule, we said that I would be in Nura's DP biology class and her science 2, 3, and 2 or 3 class. And then for Josh, I'll just be in science 6, which is grade 10. So, and then I'll be happy to do some
supervision?
Not revision. Supervision for Fridays and Tuesdays for you guys. And that will help me too. And then I'll also attend the staff meeting on Wednesdays at 3:30.
Yeah.
That's as Michelle recommended.
Are you going to do both? So we alternate between all staff meeting and subject meeting. So were you planning on coming every Wednesday?
I was.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So it'll just be 1 week will be all staff and then 1 week it'll be a subject.
Okay.
And then also on the weeks that we have a full staff meeting, that smart lunch is a science staff meeting. So there's a double meeting that day.
Okay.
So it might be good if you attend both. Additionally, on the alternating weeks for Wednesday is the grade 10 meeting, which you should probably also join us for. So on Wednesdays you will have double meetings.
Okay.
We'll let you know where to go.
Okay. Okay.
But I think you should attend all of them.
So is that during smart lunch?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. I think that would be great. Okay. Great. Okay. And then I guess the second thing I wanted to ask you about is the topic for the first week of class. Mm-hmm. And I think you're both going to be looking at genetics. Am I right? Or
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have any guidelines for me regarding that?
So that first week, Josh and I have already spoken. We are going to start inheritance at that point.
Okay.
So we're going to ask you to do a very short review on mitosis and meiosis.
Okay.
So it's content that the kids already know because we'll have already covered it. And that way it'll give you a chance to do revision with them, have some fun, and it'll be a great way to start.
Okay.
Your first time.
So they've gone over mitosis and meiosis.
They will
By that
have
point,
that.
they will have, yeah.
So when I go over this, can I do this in a PowerPoint presentation, or do you?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
This is up to you.
Okay.
So you can make it kinesthetic, you could make it PowerPoint, you can make it a game, you can do whatever you want. So in the end, you know that you have to meet these requirements. So whatever this activity could help you meet a requirement, you should go for that. That's what I would recommend.
In the school year, we studied in our Teach Now class how that a lot of teachers, for example, will have, this is more for classroom management, but I think you told me it's not generally an issue in your classes, but that teachers will have a set of rules that they might develop with the students, and they may even write them together, and then the students sign a contract maybe and say that this is what they commit to doing, and if they don't follow the rules, then there'll be consequences and all that. I just wondered if this is something that is done in your classroom, or if you...
I have done it.
Yes.
I've done it in the past.
Okay.
I didn't do it here.
Okay.
This is my first year here.
Okay.
So I haven't done it with the class that you'll be in. I have done it with classes.
But they know, there's a set of standards, I guess, they know what to do every day. I guess that's what I'm also asking.
I think we have good kids. I think we both said that you've got some pretty good. It's to the 9th grade class. I thought you were going to have, they're a challenging class. They're challenging. But the 10th graders I have are really, really good kids.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have anything in the way of, honestly, classroom management. The only classroom management issue is keeping them on task, because they're so technology focused, like everything's on the computer and they're so on the computers all the time. Like some of them will try to be working on something else, like on the computer while they're doing something. That's the only issue. They're good kids.
Okay.
You shouldn't have anything too much.
And there's no consequences, you just say, please don't do that. I mean, until it becomes a problem.
Yeah. I try to talk to the kids like they're the semi-adults that they are. So I just tell them, listen, I'm not going to scream and bark at you. I'm not going to kick you out of class or anything like that, but recognize that this is going to catch up with you in the end. Whether you're not managing your time, some way it's going to be reflected. Whether it's in how you do on your summatives, or whether it's down the road in DP when you can't manage your time. Just have that kind. Usually have that conversation. If I haven't had to do that too much with the 10th graders, they're good kids.
Almost never.
I think maybe once I've
yeah,
had to have that.
And or I'll go
That's
by
all.
and I'll be like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. And then, and then done. So,
Okay. I think it's different. I'm supplying right now in the primary school, and it's very different. There's a lot more management, I'm sure.
Oh, of course,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's definitely more routine.
No, you can talk to them, Mike.
Yeah, you want that? Go down there, yeah.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I guess that's the next part about with regard to classroom routine. What happens when they come into the classroom? Like, is there a certain, do they put their bags away? Do they have to do anything in particular, or do they just, it goes as you, day by day?
My 10th graders are pretty good. The one issue I think that we have here, because of the way the schedule works, with everything kind of butting right up against each other, the classes just meld into each other.
Yeah.
Is that you will have this kind of straggling in occasionally of students.
Okay.
And you'll start to notice pretty quickly that there's maybe a couple students that are always a couple of minutes later than the rest. But like with my 10th grade class that you'll have, it's not a huge deal. What I find with them, and again, it's not really the 10th grade, they're good kids. The 9th grade class, I have to do this. I'll just start. If they're not all there, I'll start.
Yeah, don't wait for them.
And I don't wait for them. I start.
They don't wait
those
outside or
few
anything,
kids
just
that
come
are
in.
late, they realize, oh, we're late, and they'll usually come in quietly.
Okay.
And they'll recognize really quickly, like, if they miss something
Yeah.
important. And
Okay. So you generally start the lecture, you don't start with warm up. And I've been reading about these warm ups.
Well, it depends what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It depends on the, okay,
Yeah.
it's pretty fluid that way. Okay. Okay. And then, okay, so the routine will change depending on the school.
Right. So I mean, I'm sure that both he and I we have different styles. So you'll how he might start and how I might start might differ, which is why like your first week is really meant to be observing, and then your second week is teaching a little bit more, but you're
Okay.
still observing. So you'll get a feel for which kids, and you'll also be watching which kids are the ones that are the somewhat challenging, and then you'll be able to, when it comes time for you to fully take over, like you'll already know it's going to be like that kid or that kid. That might be an issue, and then we'll have to deal with it.
Okay. So, so I think we've addressed that, classroom expectations and routines. I guess the only expectation that we could actually talk about is, like, do you expect them to raise their hand before they talk, of course, and you expect them to come into the class on time, things like that, or do you, or is it not at this level? Like, does that demote communication or prevent communication if they don't raise their hand?
I do both.
Okay.
I let my kids. So sometimes it depends the topic. Sometimes
Okay.
they're
Depends on the
so
class, too.
and
Okay.
sometimes they're so engaged and they're just blurting out. But
Okay.
but they actually police one another. So if there are
Oh.
kids who are giving maybe not great answers or are not sharing, kids give them a bit of a stink eye. And then at that point, I'll say something like, "It's not this person's TV show today. We need to let other people share," and then it's okay.
Oh.
So it does happen, and you'll see in my classes I do both. They will raise their hand. Sometimes they shout out.
Yes.
It really depends on how I feel.
Okay. And they can tell by how you're setting the tone what they're supposed to do. Okay.
You'll feel it. Like,
Okay.
you'll know when it's positive engage or when they're just being kind of like not so nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and then so finally, I think the last question just was the last unit, so the last 12 weeks, there's two more questions, but the last 12 weeks that I'm in the classroom, in both of your classrooms, according to the syllabus, I think you're going over genetics and acids and bases. Yeah. So those are the two final units.
Yep.
So I can begin reviewing that a bit. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And so maybe finally, if you don't mind, maybe we could go over the rubric for the grading. Okay, I need to look into that more in detail to make sure that's what they want to. But okay, and then yes. So, do you have any questions about this that I could ask my on my end?
I think it was
It says 0 to 4.
We do a lot.
Rubric, right?
We do a lot with rubrics.
Sure.
I think it'll be. I think we'll.
This is a new thing since I was in school. Rubrics. But it
Okay.
seems like everybody
So
uses
every week you focus on one standard.
task. Yeah, standard.
So you would do like standard.
So the first one.
Okay. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I don't think we're gonna.
So you're just going to type in whatever your number is, and then you just add a short paragraph explaining any observations or recommendations. I think.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So the first week you start, you're going to be assessed because you're only doing the baseline, right? Are you actually going to be assessed on your baseline?
Yes, I'm assessed the first week.
Okay. Yeah, like for example, like this one, collaboration with families and others.
It's not applicable.
No, I will be. I'm gonna ask you to
Okay.
email the parents.
Okay,
Introduce
great.
yourself.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I hope
Yeah.
I didn't take too much of your time.
No,
Have a
not
nice
at all.
afternoon.